All right, welcome to what is going to be the very first episode of the ABR ACCESS podcast. It's been a couple of weeks in the works and coming up with a name and building a set and getting this underway, but very happy to be joined by Mr. Will O'Malley in the studio for the very first time. Willow?
Thank you, Wolf. A bit nervous. First podcast for me. I know you're a veteran at this caper and, just a little bit nervous. First game nerves.
Well, nice to see you easing into it with a nice White Claw.
Good tides, mate. Don't touch the White Claws.
Okay, well, we're easing in on a Wednesday evening. Acceptances are out ahead of Saturday. The goal being on this podcast to kind of preview a little bit of our runners ahead, our review of our previous runners, and just general ABR chat on a Thoroughbred side. So really looking forward to getting into something like this on a weekly basis, hopefully getting a bit of content for both Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, however we kind of want to produce it. But really looking forward to this, Willow.
So am I, mate. You've done a great job setting up the whole room here. Look, you've even got your 10-goal mug over there. Talk us through those.
Well, that's one of the about 12 I've got lying around. I thought I'd just put one out.
Yeah.
This was
What's that? Is that the footy you did it with?
Footy signed by all the fans and a few different things.
Bit of self-indulgence. That's good.
Yeah, a few nice pics of. I think we've got dual pressure up there at the top. Yeah. My girl, Mrs. Pennycracker, up the top there, and
you've got your Bachelor of Education, using that well now.
Yeah, no, it's been put to good use up the top there, but it's we've actually somehow put this together quite well, and hopefully
very
we can
sharp stuff.
Get a few clips from this week ahead of the weekend. We've got some exciting runners to preview. A little bit about us, just kind of on the whole, Willow. Probably a good start would be to introduce yourself and your role at ABR.
Yep. So obviously racing and bloodstock manager now. Even a bit of a general manager now. So we've taken on a bit more of a full-time role, which is exciting. And obviously love the game, love racing. I've basically been best friends with Ned since we were born. Our parents are very close, and we've basically been inseparable since then. Followed him over to when he was working over with Kieran in Melbourne. Dad and Grandpa were both bookmakers, so had it in the blood early, and certainly have a real deep passion for the game.
Very, very good. And you've been with Aaron and Ned for how long have you been out at Angaston?
At least 3 years, kind of like in a smaller role, and now have built up to basically being around the place all the time.
I put a question here. Favourite moment at ABR so far?
Here we go. Don't know what I did there. Look, probably. There was the weekend where we had a treble at Murray Bridge, and that rolled into dual pressure, winning the first race at Morpheville on Cup Day. That was a pretty good feeling. Obviously, forked out a bit of cash for him, so that was. And I think he was paying $8 or $9 that day, and might have had a bit of a crack, and that was.
What time of the year was that? Was that not long after Christmas?
No, Adelaide Cup Day. That was Adelaide Cup Day. Yeah. So we had the treble on the Saturday, which was pretty cool. And I went out there with Dad, Poppy, and Minnie, and we were pretty happy driving home from there. And then rolled into Adelaide Cup Day. Dual pressure was race number 1, and they put up $8 or $9, and we duly saluted.
Away we go. Yeah, so we've got plenty to cover. Being a first episode, we might do a little bit of an intro, as we said, and just how this is going to operate on a weekly basis with the studio being set up. No reason why we can't make this a regular thing, but on a weekly basis, we might start with just reviewing the week that has been. Trials, jump outs, races. Been a bit of a tricky period recently, not only for this stable, but racing in SA generally. It's going through a bit of a patch. Plenty of tricky weather going around, and meetings, trials, jump outs being abandoned, moved around. As we would know today, we had the races at Morpheville and a very rare Tuesday meeting at Murray Bridge after an abandonment last week. Just touching on that, Willow, our horses, and just generally how have they been handling, and the stable been handling kind of that movement around, and plenty having to be very flexible with that.
Yeah, there's obviously been some horrific weather here in Adelaide, and that's made our job very tricky in terms of trials being cancelled, meetings being moved, cancelled, and then just our training tracks even being able to be used during the week to get some work into the horses. So look, we there's no doubt our horses haven't been running that well recently, and we're working through that just with the difficulty with the tracks. But no, we're pretty confident now, kind of getting on top of that work and just having to manage a few things. We're now getting out to Balaclava on a Friday or a Saturday, which has been helpful. And look, it's honestly just a bit of a balancing act now. Like, hopefully, don't cop as much weather we have been in, and then we can then just be a bit more consistent with the work for the horses. But look, everyone's going through it, and we have to we have to make the most of what we can.
Yeah, it's been a tricky period, especially with horses that aren't kind of handling the heavy conditions. One being Alejandra on Saturday, one of the two runners we had go around. We had Mountain Devil as well, but a little bit of an update on Alejandra, Willow.
Yeah, so she'll go to the paddock, yeah. Like, we kind of knew she didn't handle it, but kind of got her back after a disappointing second up run where she was a bit crook, and, she galloped well. But, yeah, we just now know that she won't be running on a heavy track again, and she's going to have a short let up, like 4 weeks in the paddock, and then go come back into work and then find those dry tracks in the spring, summertime.
Yeah, and hopefully we've got a few that are in that boat that are just going to manage this tricky period and come back and springboard once the better weather is around. Another one that ran on Saturday that we will be pressing on with is the 2-year-old by Fierce Impact, Mountain Devil.
Yes, yeah, no, look, I thought he was good. Like, we knew the 1200 would be too sharp for him again. Actually travelled perfectly in the race. Like, I thought he was so professional, but unfortunately, the way it panned out, the 2-year-olds, they were stuck close to the fence. There was just no room for him, and kind of the race was often gone by the time Jackson Murphy got out. And he found the line well. Like, he wasn't explosive, but the problem for him is he doesn't have that turn of foot. Like, he's going to be a better horse when we get him up on speed and rolling over 14 to a mile, maybe further in time. So, like, he's a pass mark, and I think he'll be much better next week.
And yeah, it is a tricky managing the 2-year-olds. They're in and out. They're with you one day and not with you the next. But all going to plan, likely to press on to the size produce next week, the following Saturday. Over 1400, he'll be better suited there, as you were saying. So the more ground and more time that horse is given, the better. He's been one that's kind of just been a bit of a quiet achiever over the last 6 to 12 months, and really happy for what has been a very good group of owners who have jumped on the Mount Lofty Devils as well, hence the name. Hopefully we can get a result with him sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. No, like, he's just professional and just does everything right. And even Jackson Murphy mentioned that in the post-race interview that, he just feels like a 6-year-old gelding, really, which is a good thing. And that probably bodes well to step out and trip in time as well, because he settles and he just does, he relaxes in his races. So he's a big, strong gelding. He's going to provide a lot of fun for the owners. Yeah,
so going forward, we can look to get the potential of having a guest on a weekly basis. A really good one for this week might have been Miss Taylor Johnson. She's got plenty of rides for us this Saturday, I think we'll just take the keys this week and see how we go. And
well, maybe if she delivers a few winners, we'll get her on next week.
Yeah, it's
that's her reward, I guess.
No, I don't know if that's a reward or a punishment. Maybe we get her on if she doesn't get a winner. So we've got trials and upcoming jump outs to go through. We might touch on this Saturday instead, just to kick off, because there's a little bit still up in the air, trials and jump outs wise. I think there's a set next week at Mindery Halidon.
That'll be interesting. So we're only going to send a few there, but look, there's no other trials around. So what do you do?
Looking forward to a trip out to Royal Mindery. As I said, no guest, but this week we might go through what is looking like it might be a very exciting weekend, hopefully, for the stable. We've got 5 runners going to the races on Saturday, a couple that are really exciting for some good owners, and we might kick it off there with Zoo Win. Obviously the undefeated 2-year-old filly by Zoo, saying she had her one start at Murray Bridge where she was tough. She led all the way and overcame a bad gate, and looking to go back to back off a bit of a break. Willow, Zoo Win Saturday, how has she been heading towards the races?
She's been fantastic, mate. Like, she the one negative is they cancelled the trials last week, so she had to go to Murray Bridge and just do a gallop on the synthetic. Like, she's had a jump out, but obviously would have loved to get a trial into her. Like, it would have been about 8-9 days out, which is exactly what we want. And so she's going to be probably not, the fitness wise, she's going to be a bit softer than the others, and her main aim is next start in the Lightning Stakes. So she's very fast horse. She's going to go forward and settle up on speed. I imagine there is a bit of speed in the way she's looking at it, so early, but she's going to land, first or second, I think, and from there, she's going to run a big race. She's very competitive. Her gallop Tuesday was really good, and she's the form through her race. I think the second horse that nearly beat her has won a listed race since.
Verzane.
So look, we know she's good. We just know her main target is next start.
Yeah, really looking forward to Saturday. It was a terrific result. Probably one of my personal highlights when she got the job done on debut. We had a great group of owners out there and had a fantastic luncheon after, so if she could kind of continue on her merry way and get another win, that would be terrific for the horse and for Taylor. That is race 1, so hopefully we can kick off the day and you might tuck into a couple of seltzers throughout the day.
Very nice.
We might move on to race 2, where we've got another runner, an interesting one. First up for the stable, Sungazer, drawn a good gate. Taylor on as well for Mr. Wayne Mitchell. First up, expectations 1200 or 1250.
Look, I think it's probably an ideal kick-off point for him, 1250. He got stretched out to 2,000 metres last preparation. He was with Tony and Calvin over in Victoria. He probably doesn't profile to us as like a 2,000 metre horse, so we think 1250 first up, ideal, good draw. Has been working well. Depends how wet the track is. I don't think he loves wet ground, to be honest. His form suggests that, and just the way he works, his best gallops have been on top of the ground this prep. So we'll see how he goes. Like he runs well, and we're excited to see him at the races. But whether 1250 though, he might find him a bit sharp.
So he is by Zoostar as well as our next runner, I think. Is Everything Counts also a Zoostar?
He is, yeah.
And Zoo Win obviously is Zoosane. And then our fourth runner is by Zoosat as well, Leading Impact. So there's a bit of a theme there. I've just realised. Race 4, we move on to a horse with the OTI Group. Taylor aboard again. Gee, she's going to be kept busy on Saturday in the early parts. Everything Counts. Drawn barrier 8. Looking at his third run for the stable after a couple of frustrating runs to kick off his career with us. Yeah,
look, he's got good ability. Like, he gallops really well, and he's even trialled well. He probably hasn't delivered that on race day yet, but like we've had a few hiccups with him, and I think Ned's pretty happy with him this week with his gallop on Tuesday. And look, I do think he will enjoy getting his, getting the cut out of the track. And the draw was a bit tricky, I thought. Like 8, the Park, 1550 start. Where do you get to? So we have to just come up with a plan. We'll speak to Taylor on that on Saturday morning. But look, his best, like looking through his ratings and his profile, his best ratings will win the race with the weight he's got. But whether we can get him back to that best, that's the question.
Important to note that you are actually a bit of a form guru and in charge of the jockey bookings. So when you speak, people should listen. I think, other than a little bit of bias of being in the stable, but you are very rarely affected by bias. You don't pick any favourites, do you? I think we've asked this on the Instagram before about who your favourite horse is. But
I try not to. No, obviously it's hard not to sometimes.
Yeah, but me neither, personally.
Well, you are a shocker for it, but that's probably one of your great strengths, mate. But look, I try to look at it logically on most occasions. And look, ratings don't tell the whole story though. Like, I obviously have a fair bit to do with the rating side of things, but they certainly can't tell you everything. So there needs to be a bit of hunger, as we talk about as well, and you can't quantify hunger, as I say.
No, that is something that we will, I'm sure, come up a fair few amount of times as we are joined by our first guest of the podcast as my cat comes in. Get the heck out of here. Race 6, we move on to a new horse to the stable. As we said, speedy horse, 1,000 metres first up, drawn a good gate, Leading Impact.
Yes.
Really excited to see him step out to the races. He's been a bit of a stable favourite since arriving. Lovely to deal with, and shown a little bit at the trials and jump outs. So, what are the expectations Saturday in what looks a very handy race? There's some nice young horses in that race.
Very good race. He's, speaking of ratings, like his 3 ratings in New South Wales are going to be basically winning this, I think. So, look, he's first up, and again, just missed that. He's had one trial. Like, we'd love to give him one more, but look, he's going really well. He's been galloping with a Zoo Win. They've been matching motors, and we're very happy with the horse. He's got a good draw. He's got good early tactical speed. Taylor knows him well now, so he's going to be settling, in the first couple, I think, and he's done really well on rain-affected ground as well. So he's probably going to be our best chance for the weekend, I think.
Yeah, really pumped to see him step out for the first time for us on Saturday. All systems go for Leading Impact. And to round out the card and a bit of an analysis side, we might jump into some more loosey-goosey stuff after, but the race 9, exciting galloper first up for the stable, number 2, Officiate. He's drawn wide, Jackson Murphy, got a big weight, but an exciting horse that's running some high-quality races, Willow.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I know early days, the Waller team, and a lot of people had a high opinion of the horse. He obviously ran in a Australian Guineas. I think he ran in a Spring Champion as well. And like, he has obviously really good ability. He has a really good liking for wet tracks as well. He's been fantastic since coming to us. We've been really impressed with what he's doing. Like, obviously, we're just kicking him off at the 1250 again. Given there was no trials, they got cancelled. This is like basically his first trial, and then there's a good mile race for him in 2 weeks' time. So look, expect him to be back from the draw. But he can, like, on the way he's been galloping, I would not be shocked to see him run over the top. But I certainly wouldn't be probably backing him today. I'd be keeping my powder dry until next start. But he's going really well, an exciting horse for us.
Yeah, and you obviously give me quite a stern warning about drawing wide on the Parks track. But as you said, he has got bigger targets in store for him. But a really exciting horse who's shown a bit. And a colt. He was a colt by Justify, now gelded. Really happy to be having him out at Angaston. that brings us to the end. As Will said, we might lean towards leading impact as being our best, but towards the end of the episode, we might give a best bet and kind of something to look forward to, as well as something out wider as well. If we see anything along the card, Willow being a bit of a form judge and me being a bit of a racing nuffy, there might be something towards the end of each episode, and we hopefully get a bit of a running tally as well with who tips the most winners.
Yeah, we'll keep the scoreboard up there. We can hang it on the wall, mate. That'd be great.
You just got to make room because there's plenty of nice photos going up there. So we might run through any track work, whispers, anything from behind the scenes at the stable. I thought one that might be worth mentioning is a very popular horse and one that has been very successful and was a part of a really good period for the ABR stable, was Shady Thinker.
Yep.
He was one that did miss the set of trials last week and might find himself at Royal Minderee Halidon, but he is getting closer to racing Willow.
He's getting, very close. Like, again, not ideal. We've missed the trials, but he'll go to Minderee. All going well. And then there's a couple of options for him that week after. I think there's actually an open 1100, which would likely be his first up target. And from there, we can make our way through the prep. But he's actually been galloping really, really well. And look, he's a very fast horse, so you wouldn't expect anything different, but he's in a good spot at the moment. Yeah,
Ned particularly happy with him. Anything else outside of them that kind of is getting closer to the races might be worth keeping an eye on? I know my girl, Mrs. Pennycracker, will head to Minderee Halidon.
Yep, she's been going well. Look, I think apart from those couple, we've kind of put a few on ice until for the next couple of weeks, and then bring them back once the tracks dry out. We've just found that it's just been bottomless in most places, and then we can't get the appropriate work into them on surfaces that they enjoy. So we've just kind of bit the bullet with a few, and then bring them back for later spring into summer, and we think we'll get some good results then. So there are a couple of young 2-year-olds that are showing a bit, but I think we'll just wait to see if they can get to the jump outs and give us a bit more.
And it's an exciting period away from the track itself. We've got plenty of young horses in work as well. We've got some breakers coming through, some yearlings, so some really exciting well-bred horses in the barn at the top, and it'd be cool to see kind of their progression, and we might get some stuff out on the social media in the coming weeks, but some really nicely bred horses up there, Willow.
Yeah, there are. Obviously got the fall to the JJ Atkins winner, Tronbolt, the Baccarat baby by Toronado, so he's been going around the track. I saw him today. He's looking really well. So Kai and Emily are doing a fantastic job with them, our breakers on site, and there's a couple others, like I know the St. Mark's Basilica, Paper Plains filly is one that I know Ned really likes, and the In the Congo Stolen Glance is one that we really like.
Mate, I love that horse. He's such a cool dude. There's a bit going on behind the scenes there that I don't know if we're allowed to mention just yet. We've got something in the works.
We do, yes.
I think probably by next week's episode, we might be able to touch on that a little bit more. Yeah. But also an opportunity there at the upcoming winter open day and parade as well.
Yes, that's on the 19th,
19th of July, so just over, what is that, just under 2 weeks away, Sunday. If we have any runners Saturday, that might be a dusty morning, but we've given ourselves a bit of a run up. It won't be starting till 11 o'clock, so I'm looking forward to that. Already, plenty of attendees, which is really exciting, and we're really grateful to our owners, not only for that and that day, but just the support over what has been a bit of a tricky period, to be able to kind of pack that out without too much of an effort.
I think, isn't there?
Yeah, so
that's exciting.
Really grateful for them, and we've got a couple of other things in the works potentially. A golf day later on, mid-October. That's something that you're going to kind of pioneer, but that'll be a really exciting day. And in between, we'll have a season launch with Imagine Racing at Morfettville. I think that's just about ready to hit go. So
I think you're going to launch that tonight, maybe. So that'll be exciting. But that is I think the 8th of August. Which is the Behemoth Stakes Day, I believe. Yeah,
so that's obviously really, really exciting as well. But as I said, really grateful for the support from the ownership group there, and just their ongoing support has been tremendous.
Well, if we've got to work out this what? Yeah.
What have you done?
I don't know. It's just really bothering me. But anyway, look, that's something for you to work on. I don't know. I want to bring this to the listeners' attention and the viewers. So I told him we'll print some photos of the stable, and they couldn't be smaller, the photos.
If you actually show the camera, you'll be able to...
Can you get a microscope?
Well, like
microscope,
now, like if you have a look. That's actually, I thought, really quite cute. There's a nice picture of us on there.
Would have been great, but they just can't see them. So anyway, that's something for you to work on during the week.
Yeah, a few teething issues, but I'm sure by the end of the year we might have this podcast kind of operating smoothly. Anything else that we need to touch on? I think it'd be remiss of us not to mention a particular piece of work at Balaclava last week that was very eye-catching.
So, talking of track work, which was... one Ned Taylor just had to go fetch a horse from the other side of the track and completed a very sharp 4-home 2. He came back blowing though, and look, he's probably going to need a bit more work to actually get him to the races. He did mention a half marathon. I think he's a long way off that, but look, we'll keep working with him.
Maybe we could do like a petition to get Ned Taylor to run the Barossa Marathon. That'd be certainly something worth seeing. But from his work last week, I think that would be an uphill battle. I think that's like setting a benchmark 58 horse for a Group 1. But
he's coming to hand quickly, but I think he's going to need a bit more work.
No, very much. So I think if he trips up the Angaston Hill, wouldn't hurt. Best bets. Anything out wider, Willow, worth keeping an eye on? Anything to look forward to over the next couple of weeks?
I just did find one quickly for you, mate.
I need to find something because we need to go head-to-head here. And you know what? I actually don't even need to look. You tell me your best bet, and then I'll just rattle off a complete mile for you.
I've got one for you. Caulfield race number 7.
Yep.
Miraval Rose.
That's your best bet. What is their prices up yet?
It's $7.50 currently.
I'll give you a $7.50 chance as well. And this is betting. This is something I very rarely do, is bet with the heart over the head. I'm usually very calculated and don't let my emotions get the better of me. However, at Morfettville on Saturday, I believe it might be race 3, the 1,400 metre race, there's a horse by the name of Extra Hot. I think I give her a really good chance. I've got no personal interest there. So
what barrier?
What barrier did she draw? 8 of 8.
Right.
That's perfect. Just slide in out the back and hopefully she can get the job done. But
good luck with that.
I do have a small interest share in that. So hence, I'll give that. And if she can kind of kick me along in the lead in our best bet segment, that'd be a great start.
So she's $7.50 as well, is she?
I think so. Around that.
So how are we doing it? We're doing it like $1 a week, and to see who ends up with the most at the end.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We'll go there. Our best stables, best chance of the weekend, Willow.
Leading Impact, I think.
Okay, yeah. If we can get a double between him and Zoo Win, we'd be laughing.
Zoo Win, obviously, but look, she missed the. She's had a jump out, not a trial. He had a trial, and her main aim is next start. So, yeah, I think there's a bit left in the tank with her, and I think he is nearly ready to go. Very,
very good, Willow. As we said, we're going to bring this on a regular basis to people.
Once a week, do you think?
Yeah, like we'll see how we go. Like we kind of say this kind of stuff, but with the effort that we've gone to with all of this, there's no way it's going to waste.
Yeah.
So
some lovely pop plants. Everything's here, really. So
yeah. So
very good. Thank you for listening, guys.
Thank you.